Hey world, being want to come back to another video. So I just want to come back to this video to address Joe Biden's demand that everyone get vaccinated and how fictitious those numbers were that he was spewing out at his press conference. It's just ridiculous. Remember, family, the government and how this whole facade is set up so that the American people, and I say American people in the sense where there were people here way before colonization occurred. So when you talk about the 1600s, you talk about the 1500s, you talk about when the U.S. Revolution and all that started. Believe me, there were people here way before that. And don't you feel it's kind of strange that there's no documentation, no historical evidence of that? When you can, and what I mean by historical evidence is not being taught in schools. And I tell you right now, I mean, if you know anything about, Africa, Asia, you got to know that there were people over here way before the Europeans got here. And so there's a lot of, misinformation. There's a lot of miseducation going on. And it's been going on for many, many years. And then when you put into play the fact that even during the NAACP's origin, it really wasn't funded by Afro-melanated people. It was funded by, Jewish people, abolitionists. Why were a group of people actually enslaved anyway? Because of colonization. And the colonization, the fact that they will say colonization and put such a positive spin on that word. I mean, anytime you colonize a country, you basically destroying their history, their culture, and having them, assimilate to yours. That ain't nothing good. And so when I talk about how this facade is set up, with the three branches of government, the judicial branch with the Supreme Court, the executive branch with the president, and the legislative branch with the Congress. Well, there's nothing happening unless there's 2/3 votes out of these two branches. So the fact that Joe Biden will come on national TV and demand everyone to get vaccinated and threaten people's livelihood and their jobs, it's ludicrous. It's not happening, because did you hear any Congress meetings or did you hear any Congress votes on that? No, because those people that are running, that are congressmen and senators and whatnot, they trying to stay in office. And they know that come November, midterm elections, they will be kicked out of office. Now remember, they are elected, they are selected, not elected. Let's get that straight first. But the people that are over them, that chooses them to be congressmen, they have a pretty good idea how the American mind works and how people with morals, how they work and how they move. And if you're gonna try to demand people to get a shot and threaten their jobs, they know that won't happen. Remember, that is controlled opposition. Yes, Joe Biden to go out there and tell everybody they have to get vaccines. But Congress never said anything about that. The Supreme Court never said anything about that. And when you got 2 out of the 3 vaccines that aren't even FDA approved, what does that tell you? Right? So who would do that? We had an epidemic of mass proportion back in the 80s and 90s with HIV virus. They didn't have this type of, vitriol on how to get this cure. Because remember, a virus, there's no cure for a virus. So whatever happened to the flu? What happened to diabetes? What happened to heart disease? What happened to all these other diseases and illnesses that people were dying from every year. Now all of a sudden, nothing's been even addressed. It's just all COVID. Come on, man, something's going awry. You did? So use your due diligence, family. Make sure you think before you have anybody put something in your body that you don't even know what's in it. That's first of all. And do your research. I mean, I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone, like I'm in the Matrix. I mean, vaccinated people still getting sick from COVID. So why would you run and get a shot when even the vaccinated are getting sick? That doesn't make sense. And like I say, if you want to say, well, hey, I'm gonna take the shot so that I can, if I do get COVID, then my symptoms and signs and symptoms won't be that bad. How you know that? Do some research, family. I don't want to get my video struck, but they might get struck. This might get struck. And if they strike this video, then being with the food for thought videos will probably get canceled. But if they do, I just start another channel. No biggie. You dig? Pay yourself first, family. And in the meantime, between time, may the Most High Saudi bring you joy. And being with us out of 5,000.